Destiny Calls from Arkansas to McAllen. CaseOh lived in Arkansas. He streamed, he ate, life was good, but something was missing. One day, a sign, a billboard. It spoke of McAllen, Texas, the fattest city in America.
This was my destiny.
He packed his bags, his snacks, and his extra-large gaming chair. McAllen awaited. His mama cried.
Don't go, CaseOh. They got even bigger portions down there.
But CaseOh couldn't be stopped. He dreamed of a land where his appetite wouldn't be judged, where his love for extra cheese was celebrated. McAllen was calling, and CaseOh would answer. He backed out of his driveway, the car groaning under his weight. This was it, the start of his adventure, the beginning of his destiny. McAllen, here he comes. McAllen, land of the free, home of the extra fries. McAllen was everything CaseOh dreamed of and more. Fast food joints on every corner, all-you-can-eat buffets with gravity-defying piles of fried chicken. People waddled down the street, their faces glowing with greasy contentment. This was a city that understood him. He rented an apartment above a donut shop. The aroma was intoxicating. CaseOh took a deep breath, his belly rumbling in anticipation. He was home. The people of McAllen were large and in charge. They embraced life with gusto and extra gravy. CaseOh knew he had found his people. He would fit right in. He would thrive. He would become
Mayor?
The thought struck him like a bolt of lightning, or maybe like a falling stack of pancakes. Friends turned foes. Jinxie and Sketch enter the arena. Once allies in the digital realm, their bond now teeters on the edge of a knife. CaseOh wasn't alone in the digital world. He had friends. Friends who were more like family, sharing countless hours in the virtual battlegrounds. Jinxie, the trash-talking gamer with a penchant for energy drinks and questionable hygiene. His room, a chaotic mess, reflected his wild and untamed spirit. And Sketch, the quiet artistic one, whose digital drawings were only surpassed by his appetite for pizza. His creativity knew no bounds, and his art was a window into his soul. They streamed together, they laughed together, they raided the fridge together. Their camaraderie was unbreakable, or so it seemed. But fame, or at least internet fame, changes a man. The allure of the spotlight can cast long shadows, and in those shadows, envy and ambition can fester. When CaseOh announced his mayoral campaign, jealousy reared its ugly head. The announcement was meant to be a celebration, but it quickly became a catalyst for conflict.
I can't stand the thought of CaseOh ruling McAllen. The words were laced with bitterness, a stark contrast to the laughter they once shared.
And Sketch, influenced by Jinxie's toxic ambition, began to see CaseOh as an obstacle in their path to streaming glory. The seeds of discord were sown, and they took root quickly.
CaseOh is just in our way. The determination in his voice was palpable, a stark reminder of how far they had strayed from their original path.
The friendship fractured, the banter turned bitter. What was once playful ribbing became sharp and hurtful, each word a dagger aimed at old wounds. The race for mayor of McAllen was on, and only one could wear the crown, or at least the extra-large mayoral hat. The stakes were higher than ever, and the arena was set for an epic showdown. Both Jinxie and Sketch threw themselves into preparation. Training sessions became grueling marathons, each determined to outdo the other. The arena was no longer just a battleground. It was a crucible where their friendship would be tested to its limits. Late at night, in the quiet moments, they would sometimes reflect on the past. Old photos and memories served as a stark reminder of what they once had. But the path they were on now seemed irreversible. Each sought advice from mentors and allies, hoping to gain an edge. The wisdom imparted was invaluable, but it also highlighted the growing chasm between them. The final showdown was inevitable. As they entered the arena, the air was thick with tension. Friends turned foes. They were now adversaries in a battle that would determine not just the mayoral race, but the future of their friendship. The clash was epic, each move calculated, each strike a testament to their skills and determination. The crowd watched in awe, unaware of the deep personal stakes involved. In the end, only one would emerge victorious. But the true victory would be in whether they could find a way back to the friendship they once cherished. The arena was just the beginning. The real battle was for their hearts and minds. Section 4. Southbound and Down, CaseOh's Excellent Adventure. This is the story of a journey, a quest filled with unexpected twists and turns, where our hero, CaseOh, embarks on an adventure that will test his resolve and spirit. The road to McAllen was long. It stretched out like a ribbon of asphalt, winding through the vast Texan landscape. The sun blazed overhead, casting long shadows on the road. CaseOh's car, a trusty but aging vehicle, rumbled along, its engine humming a steady tune. CaseOh's car groaned under the strain of his bulk and his luggage, which was mostly snacks. Bags of chips, boxes of cookies, and an assortment of drinks filled every available space. He had prepared for the journey with the enthusiasm of a child going on a picnic, but the weight was taking its toll on the car. He had to make a pit stop in Austin. The city was a bustling hub, a stark contrast to the quiet roads he had been traveling. The gas station was a welcome sight, a place to refuel both his car and himself. He stretched his legs, feeling the stiffness from hours of driving. It was there he bumped into Sketch. The encounter was unexpected, a twist of fate that brought an old friend back into his life. Sketch, with his familiar face and easy smile, was a sight for sore eyes.
Sketch, my man! CaseOh's voice boomed with genuine excitement, the kind that comes from seeing a friend after a long time.
CaseOh boomed, engulfing his friend in a bear hug. The embrace was warm and heartfelt, a testament to their enduring friendship. They had shared many adventures in the past, and this reunion felt like the beginning of another.
What brings you here? CaseOh asked, his curiosity piqued. It was rare to run into someone you knew in such a vast state.
Sketch, looking thinner than usual, mumbled something about inspiration and new artistic vision. His words were vague, lacking the usual enthusiasm that CaseOh remembered. But CaseOh sensed something was off. There was a tension in Sketch's demeanor, a subtle shift that hinted at deeper troubles. Sketch seemed distant, his eyes filled with a strange ambition. It was as if he was chasing something elusive, something that had taken hold of his very soul. Little did CaseOh know, the seeds of betrayal had already been sown. Sketch's ambitions were leading him down a path that would soon intersect with CaseOh's in ways neither of them could foresee. They parted ways, CaseOh continuing his journey south, his heart heavy with a foreboding he couldn't quite place. The road ahead seemed longer, the journey more daunting. He pushed the feeling down with a handful of pork rinds. Everything would be fine, he told himself. The snacks were a comfort, a small pleasure in the midst of uncertainty. He was going to be mayor. The thought filled him with determination. He had a vision for McAllen, a dream of making a difference in the community. What could possibly go wrong? The question lingered in his mind, a whisper of doubt that he quickly brushed aside. He was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, confident in his ability to overcome them. Section 5. McAllen's New Champion, a leader with extra layers. McAllen welcomed CaseOh with open arms and stretchy pants. The city had never seen a leader quite like him before. He was a breath of fresh air, a symbol of acceptance and unity in a world that often judged people by their appearances. His message was simple: more food, less judgment. The people listened. They were tired of being judged for their love of food, for their size, for their lifestyle. CaseOh's message resonated deeply with them. He spoke to their hearts and their stomachs. They related. They voted. They saw in him a reflection of their own struggles and desires. They saw a leader who understood them, who didn't look down on them, but stood with them. It was a powerful connection, one that transcended politics.
We need someone like him, someone who isn't afraid to be themselves, who isn't afraid to stand up for what they believe in, someone who can lead with compassion and understanding.
Finally, a leader who gets us. A leader who knows what it's like to be judged, to be underestimated. A leader who can turn those judgments into strengths.
His opponents, fueled by envy and protein shakes, underestimated him. They thought they could outmuscle him, outshine him. But they didn't understand the power of his message, the strength of his character. They mocked his weight, his love for gravy, his inability to resist a good buffet. They thought these were weaknesses, but they were wrong. These were the very things that made him relatable, that made him human. But CaseOh embraced it all. He didn't hide from their taunts. He didn't shy away from their laughter. He stood tall, with a confident smile, and showed them that there was strength in vulnerability. He wore his appetite like a badge of honor. He showed the world that there was no shame in loving food, in enjoying life. He was proud of who he was, and he wanted everyone to feel that same pride. He was a man of the people, a mayor who truly represented the glorious, gluttonous spirit of McAllen. He was one of them, and they loved him for it. He brought the city together in a way that no one else could. The election was a landslide. The people had spoken, and they had chosen CaseOh. They had chosen acceptance, unity, and a leader who truly understood them. CaseOh, the fat streamer from Arkansas, was now the mayor of the fattest city in America. His reign had begun. It was a new era for McAllen, an era of acceptance, of celebration, of unity, and it was going to be delicious. The city was ready for a leader who understood them, who celebrated them, who led with compassion and strength. CaseOh was that leader, and McAllen was ready for the feast.